today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful top. First, I always start off with my iPad and making it in my Notability app. Just kind of sketching out what it looks like, what the yarn I have looks like, and what I want it to be. So I'm using, I think, 0 to 1 weight yarn for the body, and then eyelash yarn for the finish of the top. I really wanted to make it into a dress, so I might end up going back and turning it into a dress with sleeves later on, but for now I'm just doing a crop top, and that's going to be about 2 panels and then stitching them together. So this is what we'll have in the end. So I'd already started throwing my yarn onto my Sentro. It's pretty easy. I did not use any scrap yarn for this. Scrap yarn I typically only use for heavier weight yarn because of the curling, and because those yarns curl so easily, you want to be able to have scrap yarn to differentiate the curling and where you would close the stitches there. So this one I did not use scrap yarn at all. So here you can see what it looks like. As you can see, there's no curling. There's a little bit of curling on the sides maybe, but that's easy. You could just use your fingers while it's on the Sentro and then uncurl those bad boys out. I did about 100 rows or a little bit less. It really depends on your body measurement. And then I threw on my eyelash yarn. I will leave the description of where I got these in the description box. I got them all on Amazon, and it worked out really well for me. So the only thing I will say is that when I put this on the Sentro, the yarn for the eyelash yarn, most of the frills came up on the inside, and I really wanted most of them to show up on the outside. So I'm going to see how I can make them go on the outside instead. It could just be a matter of me casting it on differently. But either way, I really love this yarn. It's super cute, and the top came out exactly how I want it. So the eyelash yarn, I did about 30 something rows for that on the Sentro, and for the main yarn I did 120. So you have a total of 150 rows overall for this top. So we're just gonna go back and forth until we kind of like start formulating some, you know, design of some sort on it, and hopefully it turns out the way that we want it to. Alright guys, if you've reached this far into the video, please like, please comment, and please subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. I will be coming out with more of these videos on the Sentro. Again, this specific project, I was a tester, and since I cast it off, I figured I would add it to my uploads. But ultimately, I'm going to be making a longer video because I really wanted to use this yarn and turn it into a dress, as well as use this eyelash yarn as the liner and as a arm cuff for this. All right, so as you can see, that eyelash yarn turned out really, really good. You could add a lot more rows of this if you want. I am cutting mine off right now, and I'm just gonna be casting it off using my yarn needle. This is one of the most tedious parts of casting off the yarn off of the Sentro, as opposed to doing scrap yarn and then having it just fall off on its own with a few turns around the Sentro. But again, these yarns that I'm using don't curl as much as heavier weight yarns that I use on the Sentro, and so there isn't really a need for a scrap yarn on this, and that's why I didn't use scrap yarn. But again, this is tedious and you can lose a stitch fairly easy on this, so I would recommend you take your time as I'm doing. Only try to do one at a time or two at a time, three at a time if you're feeling risky or dangerous, but it is highly recommended by myself to try to do it one at a time, because you will lose stitches. And then you also, depending on how long your tail is, as you can see mine is super long, you want to make sure you pull your yarn all the way through, because then it could get tangled. So you really want to do one at a time, pull your tail all the way through, or if you know you're feeling dangerous, do three at a time, but try to pull your yarn all the way through so that you can seal that off. As you can see, I started doing, because I wanted to finish this so fast, I started doing like 3 and 4 at a time. But as you see, I'm pulling my yarn all the way through so that I don't get any tangles. So it's highly recommended. Please, please, please do that, because it can get frustrating, especially with this eyelash yarn. You will not know where your live loop is, and then you could just have like one whole drop stitch unravel. It could turn out cute, because I have had projects that got several dropped yarns at certain points and it turned out amazing. So you never know. Sometimes mistakes turn out amazing, but if you're trying to be an ultra perfectionist, if you have OCD, if you have anxiety, kind of like I do, just try your best to do it one at a time, two at a time, three at a time, if you're feeling risky, but pull that tail all the way through so you do not drop any live stitches. So I'm just gonna finish this off and then show you guys what it looks like off of the Sentro. I only did one panel here, but you'll need 2 panels, so make sure you write down how many stitches you do and how many rows you do for each yarn, so that you're able to stitch them together and create your super cute top. All right, so now that I'm finished up here, I'm gonna show you what this looks like, and we're gonna see how our project turned out. All right, so this is my top. This is the inside of my top. It turned out super cute. I'm going to make a second panel and stitch them together, but for now, this is what I have. If you guys try this out, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching.